Without wasting any further time, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have our keynote address. It goes by the name of Mr. Antonie Delport, who's the Managing Director at Syngenta Crop Protection. Over to you, Mr. Delport.
I was born in Kroonstad, but soon moved to a small town in the Eastern Free State called Roosendaal, where my father became the headmaster of the local school. Roosendaal is a small farming community, and living there was the start of my passion for agriculture. I was lucky enough to be able to study within the field of agriculture, but after university, I did what many South Africans do and moved to the city for work. Although I now live in one of our country's beautiful cities, I still take every opportunity, which is often with my family when I'm on leave, to spend time on farms and to speak with growers to better understand the challenges that they face and the impact of their businesses on our livelihoods. It is my pleasure to be delivering the keynote to this Sustainable City session. Cities are a pillar of our today and tomorrow and power centers in their own right. Centers of economic and population growth, centers of innovation, centers defining the future needs of our food systems. Africa is a continent of growing cities. Our cities are growing at a faster pace than that of any other continent. Our continent's urban population is expected to triple by 2050, with an extra 800 million people. That means that we will see a population increase in our urban areas that is equivalent of the current urban population of Europe and North America combined. Now let's look at what that means for our food systems. Africa is currently home to more than half of the world's population suffering from food insecurity. Our continent is home to 256 million of the world's 795 million people suffering from hunger. What is more, the average African farmer performs at only around 40% of its potential. According to the UN Food and Agricultural Organization, the amount of maize and other cereal crops harvested per acre or hectare in Africa is less than half the global average. Climate change and the COVID-19 pandemic are putting additional pressures. Africa is the most impacted by climate change, with our continent experiencing an increase in the frequency and intensity of natural disasters like droughts. This impacts water resources and the ability of farmers to grow the necessary quality and quantity of food for our cities. For example, climate change is affecting soil moisture. Declining soil moisture can increase the need for irrigation in agriculture and lead to smaller yields and even desertification. With around 95% of the food we eat growing in the earth, degraded soils should alarm us all. Climate change is also impacting pests and diseases, and in turn making it increasingly challenging for farmers to grow food. So what's the solution, you may ask? The solution is innovation. As Albert Einstein once said, innovation is everyone's responsibility. As a global leading agricultural technology company, we are proud to be bringing sustainable innovations to farmers to help them produce more, even when faced with evolving challenges like climate change, and to produce this without using more land or natural resources. However, the uptake of this innovation and its sustainable use is everyone's responsibility. Sustainable innovations can only deliver sustainable development for urban and rural areas if complemented with the right regulatory environment. We need national regulations and global food trading rules that enable access to these innovations. National systems that enable the timely registration of these innovations so that farmers can access them. International rules that don't limit the access of farmers in Africa to the necessary technologies based on European organic pressures that are not backed by science or grounded in the realities of Africa. We need the trade barriers of Africa's prosperity to be removed. Let Africa trade rather than being dependent on aid. I was reading an article recently by the director of the International Food Policy Research Institute and the president of the Pan-Africa Farmers Organization, where they say that the worst thing we can do right now for African farmers and Africa's vulnerable food systems and ecosystems is to greatly narrow the menu of solutions available. I can only but agree with this statement. Let me give 3 examples of the kind of sustainable innovations that we're bringing to the market that can help us achieve sustainable food systems for the sustainable development of our cities. 1, a great example in sustainable innovation is seeds developed with traits that are better able to withstand above and below ground pressures. We recently registered our improved maize seed trait technology in South Africa. This will provide farmers with access to high-quality maize seeds that will no longer be vulnerable to devastation by some of the highly infectious pests like fall armyworm, the African stem borer, and the common cutworm. Left uncontrolled, these pests can lead to yield losses by anywhere between 10 to 100% in a staple crop that plays a key role in food security. It is also a sustainable technology. It helps increase crop yields without requiring more land or water use, allows for optimizing the amount of input needed, and reduces loss on farm. Biotechnology contributes to addressing climate change by requiring less tillage, enabling soil to retain more carbon, and less tractor use, which also helps maintain soil health and results in less fuel usage and related emissions. Through our seed treatment technologies, we are also protecting, enhancing soil and plant root health. Our seed care technologies have shown the ability for the seed to directly develop larger root systems and better early growth and development. Bigger root mass and deeper roots will help the seedlings to have access to more soil and thus to more nutrients and more water. This will allow plants to thrive in conditions where soils may be deficient in water and certain nutrient. In doing so, it helps farmers produce food even in conditions of climatic strain. Thirdly, we have brought the next generation fungicide, adaptogene, to the market in South Africa. Not only is it a highly effective fungicide that controls harmful diseases, but it also brings a high degree of environmental protection. It requires fewer applications and uses less of it per hectare to control destructive and potential harmful molds and fungi. Moreover, it is safer for groundwater. Put simply, you can grow more food, be it maize, apples, potatoes, more sustainably. Farmers get access to a technology that can achieve more with less. It is more sustainable and more effective while requiring less pesticide use. Farmers are, however, still waiting for international food trading rules to catch up and take a decision on the trade of food grown with the use of this sustainable innovation. Sustainable innovations need to be also complemented with sustainable farming practices. We are training farmers on good agronomic practices and the correct use of innovations for human, plant, and food health. Since 2013, as Syngenta, we have trained over 4 million farmers in Africa. No single actor can alone help us achieve sustainable food systems. That is why we are partnering for impact. This is so important. We are proud to be working with partners to help feed our growing cities sustainably. Syngenta in South Africa has supported the West Coast Yala Bio initiative, coordinate the establishment and support of 25 school food gardens in the Matsikama and Cederberg areas around Vredendal and Clan William, including approximately 11,000 learners. These schools' food and nutrition gardens are aimed at supplementing the school nutrition program and to be used as an outside classroom for curriculum integration. Learners gain knowledge and skills of healthy eating and food gardening in the process, and the status of agriculture is enhanced. Syngenta is supporting responsible use of chemicals with the Signia project, which is an upskilling program aimed at farm workers on the safe use of crop chemicals. This program has trained over 1,500 farm workers in the past through Syngenta's agent network and is an ongoing project. Allow me to conclude by underlining the power of agriculture innovation for our rural and urban areas. If we get this right, the billions Africa currently spends on importing food can be spent on empowering our rural areas, who in turn can supply food with reduced carbon footprint to our growing cities. According to FAO statistics, Sub-Saharan Africa alone spends more than $40 billion on food imports. Imagine not having to fly food onto our continent at a cost, but rather knowing that money is helping Africa grow sustainably. Imagine a more sustainable, more food secure future. Imagine a better future for our cities, rural areas, and our continent. Together, let's define a more sustainable future. I thank you.